My parents sacrificed everything to raise my sister, but she neglected me and claimed to be affluent and married. Here's the situation. Since 15, I've cared for my 23F sister Becca, not ready for a child. Who is 15? A terrified 5-year-old is the only surviving family member after their parents' vehicle tragedy. Not much you can do. Fulfill your duties. As youngsters, we were poor, getting by in our small town when everyone knew you. Soon after our parents died, my dad's family arrived like vultures. Even the crashed car was taken. They stole our dad's little money and life insurance. Our childhood home was all they left us. I thought that was a sad present, but we had nothing else, so I grabbed onto it like my life. I quit high school to raise Becca. I made my first dollar at 15. It was hard. Nobody would hire a teen. Someone without work or education. I persisted, or maybe I was desperate. I babysat, cleaned houses, and flipped burgers at a nearby fast food restaurant, among other odd jobs. I became the fast food chain's boss after years of working there. Although monotonous, it paid the bills. Becca went to college on my money from that and other odd jobs. I loved Becca. I tried hard for her. To make her life better than mine, I offered everything. I cut expenses and saved for her college. Our folks would have liked that. What about Becky? She promised to do anything for me. She said, "Sis, I'll get a good job after I graduate and pay you back for everything. I never demanded payment. I merely wanted her joy. But knowing she enjoyed my gifts made me pleased. Her life was fine until she met the boy a few months ago. It was her senior year at college. Together they attended college. Becky stopped coming home during breaks. She prefers Jake and his family. I wasn't happy, but I felt it was temporary. Does college transform people? I investigated and found Jake's family was one of town's wealthiest. They had old money, trust fund kids, and more. In this area, they ruled. They apparently owned most of town's shops and were wealthy. I believed their relationship was fine. Who am I to stop Becca from being happy? If she liked him, that mattered most. I couldn't help feeling forgotten. She stayed with me like a ghost. She didn't have much time for me. I didn't say anything. I didn't want to be that stubborn sister. Things worsened after college. After moving in with Jake, Becca was less visible, but the money requests continued. She claimed it was for food or rent. Whatever she wanted, I'd send it. I wanted her to return to our childhood home, but it was my job to watch her. She demanded exorbitant amounts, nevertheless. I could buy a car with that. I felt Jake's family was stressing her, or that her life costs had increased. Why did I keep transferring money? Rather not inquire. Then, on my day off, I noticed something unexpected on Facebook. Becca and Jake seemed unconcerned in the photo. She was ringed, so as to suggest they were marrying fast. I was so proud and happy I almost burst. A little sister was marrying. I immediately texted her to congratulate her and discuss wedding plans. I was excited to see her walk down the aisle. I'm sure she'd want me to walk her down the aisle. I instantly gave her our mother's wedding dress. I loved it and wanted to wear it. Even though it wasn't trendy, I wanted Becca to wear it since it was so gorgeous. Her response caught me off guard. Someone forbade me from discussing the wedding. I wasn't asked. Shocked. What's wrong? How did I anger her? I texted her again. She didn't reply. I called her despite her advice. It was unusual that my little sister wouldn't let me in. She invited me to coffee the next day. I was eager to visit her and learn more. I missed work too much to repay myself for the money I would have made. Love for Becca fills me. I barely knew her when she arrived, her stunning black hair, which reminded me of our mother, was blonde. It seems she, not identical, her appearance and movement. I had never felt something so cold and distant. I mentioned the wedding and presented the ring to grab their attention. She wouldn't let me touch it, despite my request. My hands were unclean, she said. She wouldn't let me hold it, even though I laughed and cleaned my hands with wet wipes in my bag. She didn't sip my coffee. My presence was ignored by her. I struggled to identify my mistakes. I handed her money 2 weeks ago. Despite my efforts to help and make her happy, she seemed uninterested in me. I apologized since I felt I had offended her. She became even angrier when I told her I had to meet her fiancé before the wedding. She yelled at me to never meet him and not attend her wedding if I loved her. Told her I would. I did, and it hurt. I forgot what we talked about for days. My gut told me something was wrong. Becca was clearly not herself. She kept important information from me. I followed her college buddies on Facebook to learn about her life. What I learned destroyed my heart. My sister lied. She's been telling everyone our parents are affluent, live abroad, and fund her luxurious life. It appears she is wealthy. Due to those lies, she's getting married in one of town's most expensive homes. Now I get her. If I attend the wedding, everyone would know she lied her whole life. Breakdown is coming. She wants to forget me, a reminder of her real past. My attending her wedding will be bad for her. She will miss Jake, his family, and royal life. My sister feels horrible about me for giving up everything for her. I was stunned when I heard it. That's how she'll reward me for all the years I worked hard, slept little, and sacrificed dreams to raise her. She excluded me since I'm not what she wants. I have no idea what to wear to the wedding next month. I want to go anyway to tell her the truth. It will hurt her, and I never want to hurt her. My little sister, whom I nurtured, said she would do anything for me. So badly want her back. Been thinking. Discussing it repeatedly to determine what went wrong. Did I overdress her? Maybe too much for her? Did she always fit this role? I can't say what I know now. This isn't how I can live. Giving up my life for someone who doesn't want me is unfair. Long ago, I put her needs before mine and lost how to take care of myself. I must start self-care. It remains difficult. Very difficult. Although she repelled me. She shouldn't marry while lying. No need to command Reddit. AITA for tarnishing my younger sister's wedding? Should I step aside and let her fake life go? I'm feeling Sunday again and need help. Change one. My God, I expected this post to be less popular. My phone has constant alerts. I appreciate your guidance, support, and even tough love. Lots of things came to mind. I'll address some popular inquiries and remarks. 1. Obtaining legal child care. Becca wasn't adopted by me. I wasn't old enough. Our parents died when I was 15. They checked on us occasionally, but our town is small, so they didn't notice as long as Becca was okay. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. 2. Money situation. Many of you have questioned about Becca's new need for more money. It is. This feels wrong. A climb from a few $100s here and there to several thousand a month. I assumed it was just living in a big city, but now I'm wondering whether there's more. She may wish to contact Jake's family. I regret not knowing. I hear about Jake's rich family around town and on social media. Old money. They own the town bank, country club, and newspaper. They are portrayed as finicky and exclusive. People they consider inferior are treated that way. I never met them. 4. My mood. I went to therapy. Some suggested it would improve my limits. It's expensive, and my wage doesn't allow me to attend lessons. I visited Becca several times after our parents died to help her cope. I guess I never dealt with my sadness. 5. Large family. It aches. After our parents died, our dad's family took practically everything. No word from them since. Our mom's family resides across the country and was never truly involved. Becky and I had been alone for ages. What I learned. Lots of people had asked why I didn't return to school after Becca was better. Really? The time never felt right. Always things to buy or do. 7. Being in a class with 10-year-olds worried me too. What's Becca like? Not an easy question. The girl I watched was kind, grateful, and sweet. People change, right? Again and again. I told myself she needed to grow up and fly away from me. Not sure anymore. I may not have seen her, or she may be immersed in Jake's world. But I don't know how to handle the wedding. It's tempting to remain away like Becca. Yet, I feel like I'd fail myself if I didn't fight for justice. Someone mentioned something memorable. Someone said I've always loved Becca. Maybe I should have kids. Do you know? Very painful. I must consider numerous factors. I'll notify you again when I decide on the wedding. Thank you again for your assistance. Having someone listen is crucial after all these years. Change 2. I experienced many emotions today, the day before the wedding. Just decided what to do after reading hundreds of remarks and sleepless nights. Not going to the wedding. I agree with most of you about not crashing it after much thinking. It would be terrible, But I don't want to hurt Becca. People lied to her to make today seem like her best day. I phoned Becca one final time yesterday to ask if we could work before the big day. As I thought, she stopped my call. On my lunch break, I drove by her flat and noticed no automobile. She starts over without traces of her past life. It's like she left. An unfamiliar number called me early this morning. When I answered, I heard breathing. The caller hung up. Sometimes I wonder if Becca wanted to communicate or doubted. I may only see what I want because I need to see something badly. Some of you advised me to write Becca a letter on how I feel and what we've been through. I did my best. Sat down with a pen and paper since it felt more personal than email. When I wrote, tears fell on the paper. Reviewing 100 years of love, grief and love, pain in one letter, I declined. Becky can find me to know how I feel. I'll try to forget everything. Tomorrow by staying home. I'm sure some coworkers want to visit to cheer me up. I should ignore the city while we watch awful flicks and eat pizza. Anyone interested in my job should know I'll be away tomorrow. It's good that my employer understands and knows some things. I suppose I'm lucky. I'm obsessed with Becca's current activities. Is she fitted last minute, repeating her vows? Does it worry her that she excluded me from this life-changing event? Or is she glad her shameful history won't ruin her nice day? I want to drive to that church tomorrow and tell everyone the truth. But I know that's hurting and angry. She injured me, yet I adore her. Deep inside, she's the girl I reared. Someday she'll remember that. Tomorrow, as she marries, I'll try to figure out life without Becca. It is terrifying. Not being Becca's sister and guardian makes me question myself. So long have I thought of myself that way. That could be the nice thing about everything, if there is one. I need to quit being Becca's sister and find my path. I'll write after the wedding. Thank you again for your assistance. Knowing I'm not alone helps. Change 3. Hello everyone. This week has been busy since the wedding. Everything that happened made me think, so I've put off writing this report. But you all have been so helpful, you should know the outcome. Okay, let's begin. Big day was not simple. I remained home as anticipated because they brought enough junk food for an army. They attempted to cheer me up, but I checked Facebook every 5 minutes. Photos from the year's biggest wedding filled the local paper's Instagram feed. It stung to see Becca in her wedding dress, not our mom's. This expensive garment certainly cost more than our house. She looked happy. I didn't witness it. I thought it was over. I had to restore my ruined life after she and her Prince Charming rode out into the sunset. 2 days after the wedding, I received a letter. From Becky. I had trouble opening since my hands were shaking. Inside was a brief message. I chose that. I regret breaking up with you. Do not contact Jake's family or me. This improves. Look after yourself. No, I love you. Thanks for everything. Just a call to disconnect. I cried for hours reading it. I felt like I lost her again. I wanted to go on and do what she asked. I never imagined what happened yesterday. Online GED training weren't on my radar at home. Those of you who advised me to focus in school were right. Knocking on the door. When I opened it, I saw a new older woman. I knew she was Jake's mother from the wedding photos. Margaret requested admission. I was astonished. I just moved for her. While seated in my modest living room, she told me something shocking. She looked odd in her fine attire. She always knew Becca's true nature. Their club seems to thoroughly vet potential wives. We hired a private investigator a few months back, and they learned everything about us. She knew our parents had died. I was raising Becca, and we had money problems. Everything. After she told me Becca was lying, I asked why she let the wedding happen. Her response made me cold. I told her I was eager to witness her progress. I let her tell the truth, and she did. Margaret asked me about our life and Becca's money request. I released years-old emotions. She said she had to work and thanked me for honesty. Then she left swiftly. Arrived, driving me crazy. I'm not sure what occurred next, but everyone in town said it was horrible. Janet spoke to Becca and Jake in their new flat. Large fight. Jake seems to know nothing about Becca's past. He trusted all her falsehoods. Jake's family now says they may not respect the marriage. Many think Becca lied about herself and stole. Everyone in town loves the story. What about Becky? Her anger drove her to phone me last night. No more hiding her falsehoods. It was false that her family was affluent. She wanted me to tell everyone. She urged me to lie to protect her lifelong work. I wanted to help Becca straight away because her big sister always looked out for her. More of me, the half that's finally liking herself, knew I couldn't. Loved her, though she would have to face her actions. I could no longer deceive her. She cried and hung up. I don't know what is next. Will Jake support her when things improve? His family promises to act. Does Becca finally confront reality? No idea how to answer these. I'm exhausted. This revealed years-old secrets. I agree with the remarks that therapy would help. I found a support group for family absent folks. I'll attempt it. I'm also nearing GED completion. I might take up Reddit's kind offer to help me with my homework online. It's been a while since I put myself first. What Kathy and I do next is unknown. Yeah, fine. After things calm down, I'll say something else. Thank you again for your aid on this stressful trip. Last update, update 4. Writing has been absent for a month. It seems like ages ago. I don't understand all the changes. As promised, here's the final report. The post-wedding mess came first. Jake's relatives sought to interrupt the wedding, as promised. They said Becca lied about her past. This is theft. Everyone in town discussed the court case for weeks. Becky initially resisted. Nobody knows how she paid her lawyer. She told Jake she loved him and didn't care about her background. It ended when Jake told the judge he felt misled to and wanted out of the marriage. The marriage ended 3 weeks later. Jake's family presumably did it swiftly and quietly to avoid growing. It was believed they paid Becca to stay quiet about the affair. Becca complicates things. She cried at my door after the breakup. She apologized for everything. After long use, you left me out. She said she had lost who she was and who cared about her since she was so intent on changing. I forgive her immediately and embrace, like if it were a movie. Real life is different. As a statement of faith, I told her I needed time and appreciated her apology. Rebuilding takes time. She joined me 2 weeks ago. Strange indeed. We both strive for excellence, but years of hurt and fury have accumulated. We'll see a family therapist jointly because of Becca's bargain. Our issues can be resolved with its support. I don't know what will happen by staying together. Maybe we'll never be close again. Our effort is good. For the first time, I focused on myself. I'm happy to take GED programs online as you asked. I'm going well. Managing work and school is difficult, but doing something for myself feels fantastic. For being apart from my family, I've attended that support group. The stories of others have shown me I'm not alone in my struggles. Setting limits, which I've always struggled with, is also improving. Our small town gossips rapidly, so my boss found out everything. She helped a lot. I was told I may advance. The extra money will go to school. It's better but not important. I enjoyed having Jake's mother, Janet, as a guide. She contacted and offered to assist me get back to school after things cooled down. She taught me study and work planning, among other things. She helped expose Becca, so I was cautious of her, but she's been pleasant and helpful. For now, what does this mean? I'm unsure. My friendship with Becca is still unstable, but we're working on it. Her care isn't one of my life goals yet. It's thrilling and terrifying. Thanks to everyone who read and commented on this strange story. Your advice is useful. You gave me the courage to speak up and prioritize my demands. I'm excited to find out for the first time in a while, even though I don't know what will happen. I'll handle anything my way. I think this concludes the story. Thank you again for everything.